Whether you're flipping burgers or folding clothes, everybody's gotta start somewhere.
As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working toward it while letting go of how it comes to pass.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 lousy jobs celebrities had before they were famous.
Was that weird for you to be a giant banana at all?
Well, it was weird, and what was bad about it is that there was your face wasn't hidden. There was a thing cut out for where your face.
For this list, we'll be looking at the mundane, somewhat surprising jobs your favorite celebrities worked before they got their big breaks.
We made a 90-minute film in 5 days.
Wow.
And I'm using the phrase film really loosely.
Number 10, Slaughterhouse employee, Ozzy Osbourne. This one may or may not come as a shock in light of Ozzy's experiences with bats.
So you pick up a live bat?
I didn't realise it was a live bat for him. I mean, had I known it was a live bat, I would be absolutely crazy to pick up a live bat, and fight it.
That's right, a pre-fame Ozzy Osbourne paid the bills as a slaughterhouse employee for 3 years, killing cows and pigs among other things. After dropping out of school at the age of 15, Ozzy worked a number of odd jobs, including construction worker, trainee plumber, toolmaker, and car horn tuner.
So you went for the glamour jobs?
Yeah, a good taste in it.
Unfortunately, he also tried his hand at robbery, stealing and immediately dropping a TV and some baby clothes.
If you weren't a rock and roll star, what would you be?
A burglar.
What would you burglarize?
Ladies' underpants.
Ozzy's robbery gig ultimately resulted in a 6-week prison stay because his father used it as a teachable moment by declining to fork over the money to pay the fine that would have kept him out of the slammer. Number 9, refrigerator delivery, Brad Pitt.
Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
After dropping out of journalism school, Brad Pitt moved to LA and made his way by delivering refrigerators. Despite his looks, Pitt had a tough time landing his first acting gig and had a far from glamorous pre-fame career. Apart from the fridge delivery, Pitt also drove limos for a stripper service. And according to Pitt, it was actually one of the ladies he drove who set him on the right path when she told him about the acting classes she was taking. But we gotta say the icing on the pre-fame cake was when he dressed up as a chicken while working for El Pollo Loco. We wish there were video of that.
Don't recall doing that.
Number 8, Gap employee, Kanye West.
That's good for my ego.
We're not saying working at the Gap is necessarily a lousy gig, but can you imagine a diva like Kanye folding a pile of shirts or making sure the khakis are hung properly? Kanye rapped about his sales clerk past in his song Spaceship, where he admits to shoplifting and later quitting because the job wasn't helping him.
Let's go back to the Gap. Look at my check, wasn't no scratch, so if I stole, wasn't my fault. Yeah, I stole, never got caught.
Despite the biting verses against the company, Kanye changed his tune a few years later by expressing interest in collaborating with Gap.
I went to the Gap and I said, let me try to do something, and I couldn't get past the politics.
He's publicly stated that he wants to both build a partnership with the clothing outlet and his own brand, in addition to becoming the store's actual creative director. In fact, in an interview with Style.com, Yeezy said he wants to, quote, be the Steve Jobs of Gap.
Steve Jobs is like right under Jesus to me and stuff. It's like God, Jesus, my dad, Steve Jobs.
Number 7, debt collector, Demi Moore.
But you can't buy people.
That's naive, Diana. I'd buy people every day.
It's hard to picture Demi Moore as anything other than a movie star, but what she has now didn't come easy. In fact, Moore grew up in a trailer park with a pretty rough family background before moving out at 16 and heading to LA.
It's a very tragic story.
There, she quickly married her first husband, who gave her her signature last name, and started working part-time as a debt collector. Moore also began modeling, which is perhaps less surprising, posing nude in Oui magazine before dabbling in acting.
But we waited so long. God, I really counted on it.
By 19, Moore had settled into her acting career, landing a role on General Hospital, and soon her debt collecting days were nothing but a distant memory.
I've always loved you.
Ditto.
Number 6, convenience store clerk, Kevin Smith.
I'll just take the gum. 55.
Before Kevin Smith got his big break, he actually worked at the Quick Stop where his breakout film Clerks was shot.
Why did you tell me you only had sex with 3 different guys?
Because I did only have sex with 3 different guys. That doesn't mean I didn't just go with people.
But working at a corner store isn't enough to save the $27,000 he needed to fund his full-length directorial debut. Smith also sold most of his comic book collection, maxed out 8 credit cards, and even dipped into his college fund. During production, since he was still working during the day and filming at night, he stayed up for nearly the entire 21 days of shooting.
God, isn't he great?
No, this is great.
Fortunately, the hard work paid off. The movie earned him some well-deserved credibility and landed a theatrical release, in addition to kicking off Smith's entire View Askewniverse.
I had enough talent to make Clerks. 20 years later, I have enough talent to go for the things that I dreamed about when I was a nascent beginner.
Number 5, odd job worker, George Clooney.
Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger.
Now, it's hard to believe there was ever a time that George Clooney didn't even consider acting as an option. But it's true. In fact, Clooney instead turned his attention to baseball and even tried out for the Cincinnati Reds. George actually tried his hand at a variety of jobs after dropping out of journalism school. He found himself working in a shoe store, as a door-to-door insurance salesman, and even as a farmhand picking tobacco.
I have no name.
Well, that right there may be the reason you've had difficulty finding gainful employment. You see,
his big break in the film industry finally came when he moved to LA and got a gig as an extra in the TV miniseries Centennial, which set the future heartthrob's career off in the right direction.
Mr. Bingham, I'm here today to inform you that your position is no longer available.
I'm fired.
Yes, you're fired.
Never say fired.
You've been let go.
Why?
This is a mythical situation. How could I possibly know why?
Number 4, porn star Sylvester Stallone.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Sly Stallone wasn't exactly a porn star in the traditional sense, but the party at Kitty and Stud's was indeed a porno, and Stallone did indeed star in it as Stud. The actor was sleeping in a bus station when he agreed to star in the low-budget softcore film, earning a much-welcomed $200.
I'm not going to play unless everyone puts up at least 300.
Stallone later admitted that he was in such dire straits, it was either work in a porno or commit burglary. So the film's comparatively tiny paycheck gave him a shot at getting back on his feet. Stallone soon rolled the dice for one last shot at the big time, writing and starring in a little film called Rocky, a gamble that paid off very well for him in the end. Number 3, set dresser for porn films, Jon Hamm.
Sorry. That's what I get for being domestic.
While not as seedy as Don Draper's early life, Jon Hamm's backstory isn't all glitz and glamour either. Later referring to it as the most soul-crushing job he's ever had, Hamm once paid the rent by working in the porn industry as a set dresser.
Which in and of itself is a lovely job, unless you're doing it for softcore porn jobs.
This career move not only put him on the wrong side of the entertainment industry, but also on the wrong side of the camera.
Yeah, it was super depressing and wasn't worth the money.
Hamm did make at least one on-screen appearance in the 90s when he and his overly 90s haircut appeared on an episode of The Big Date. But somehow, he was not picked.
Start off with some fabulous food, a little fabulous conversation.
What else fabulous, John?
End it with a fabulous foot massage for an evening of total fabulosity.
Number 2, chicken coop cleaner, Matthew McConaughey.
I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day.
While enrolled at the University of Texas at Austin, this surfer dude decided to study abroad in Australia.
I'm into that, brother. Yeah.
Though it was technically for school, it's easy to imagine that he made the trip at least partially to catch some waves, babes, and sun rays.
All right.
His parents didn't fully pay for his journey down under, however, and as a result, McConaughey picked up several odd jobs to fund the trip, including one as a dishwasher and another as a chicken coop cleaner. McConaughey says that this period in his life left a lasting impression on him, and we can only assume it inspired his first big role as perpetual cool guy David Wooderson in Dazed and Confused.
You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Fear is writing that script, and the working title is I'll Never Be Enough.
Nice move. Where'd you grow up so simple?
Thank you.
Number 1. Phone sex operator, Whoopi Goldberg.
I was on the beach with like all my friends, or like all my friends were with me. I don't know, we were all together.
The woman once known as Karen Johnson is one of many talents. Actress, comedian, talk show host, and fake nun.
But look at me, I'm a nun, I'm a penguin.
Before landing the coveted EGOT, or Emmy, Grammy, Tony, and Oscar, it was the one-woman show Spook Show that jump-started this comedian's career, landing her breakthrough role in The Color Purple.
He don't never ask me how I feel, just never ask me nothing about myself.
But there was a time when Whoopi Goldberg banked on phone sex to pay the bills. While she has previously taken on some voice acting roles, we've rarely heard her husky delivery referred to as sexy. So Goldberg's stint as a phone sex operator is kind of surprising. Sure, her job as a hair and makeup specialist for the Dead may have also been pretty unexpected, but phone sex operator is one job we never expected to see on this Oscar winner's resume.
I don't think this is my style. Shut up, kid.
Do you agree with our list? What other celebs do you know that had crummy jobs before Hollywood?
All the barbers in New York are getting money off me, man.
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
People go, oh, you've been very fortunate and what a great career you had. And the only thing is I one day sat there, watched enough movies and TV to be like, why not me?